very good evening to you and welcome to World Now at 4. I am Peace Ogenegbawe. First, let's talk the headlines. On the headlines, federal government reaffirms commitment to youth. 14 civilians killed in DRC attack. On the international scene, Poland's FM signs diplomatic note to Germany. And on sport, Super Falcons arrive Japan, 2 players join team. Now the news in detail. The federal government of Nigeria has reaffirmed its commitment to the Nigerian youth as the country marks its 62nd Independence Day anniversary. Minister of Youth Development and Sports, Sunday Dari, while fielding questions from journalists at the Eagle Square during the Independence Day parade, eulogized the Nigerian youth.
I think the youth are central to our development. When you look at the youth, they project vitality, they project new ideas, they project strength, and they project courage. That is what our country needs. For the first time, we have a 75 billion naira youth investment fund for 3 years. As we speak, 35,000 Nigerian youth across this country. 35,000 have benefited, between 250,000 to 3 million to support.
He also assured Nigerian youth of continuous government support through programs, policies, and initiatives. The National Association of Nigerian Students has kicked against the move by the President Muhammadu Buhari to confer National Honors Awards on the Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu. Buhari listed 437 names of notable individuals to be honored on October 11, of which Adamu was among. Reacting to a statement by its National Public Relations Officer, Giwa Temitope, on Monday, NAN said it was an insult to the collective intelligence of Nigerian students who had been locked out of schools for close to 8 months due to ongoing strike action of ASU, which Adamu had failed to resolve. NAN said that in a functioning country, both Minister of Labor and Employment, Chris Ngige, who shamefully walked out of meeting with the national leadership of the ASU at the instance of the House of Representatives, and his education counterpart would have been fired before now. Temitope added that the reverse is the case in as Adamu, under whose watch the educational sector of the country has totally collapsed, is to be recognized with a national honor for a job well done. October 1, 2022 witnessed Nigeria celebrating its 62nd Independence Day anniversary. To commemorate this, an Independence Day parade was held at Eagle Square, Abuja. Hills TV was there, and now we bring you the report. As Nigeria marks its 62nd Independence Day celebration, Nigerian children has expressed hope and optimism and a great and possible Nigeria at the 62nd Independence Day Parade, which was held at the Eagle Square, Abuja. Hills TV correspondent also spoke to some of them.
I'm very happy for today because today is Nigerians' freedom. Just because we are not like other people, we should not feel different. We should be happy for people that have what we don't have.
My advice to the people is that they should keep on their good works, and the children that they should read more so that they can become something in Nigeria.
The children also made their demands from the country while making prayers for a greater Nigeria.
I need the government to develop Nigeria. Everybody should join head and develop Nigeria. We should stop corruption and should help Nigeria to develop well and the nation.
I pray that all Nigeria and every student here will live in peace and unity for us to continue to grow and develop our country and make it more great.
Happy Independence Day to you, Nigeria. Peace, Ogenegbawe, Hills TV.
Happy Independence Day, Nigeria. The people of Mokwa town in Mokwa Muro local government area of Kogi State have been thrown into mourning following the mysterious death of 4 members of a family after reportedly eating a cassava flour meal known as amala. According to reports, the family prepared the meal from the leftover of cassava flour, from which they had previously made and eaten fufu. They were said to have spread the processed shafts in the sun and to dry for some days. The dried flakes were subsequently grinded into soft powder, which was used for the meal, which they ate on Thursday evening before retiring to bed. The deceased died in quick succession between Friday, September 30 and Sunday, October 2. Those who died included the family head, Pa Motilewa, 2 daughters and a girl who is said to be their relations. One of the deceased daughter, identified as Motun, was a national certificate of education holder and teacher in the town. The mother, however, miraculously survived. When the news returns, news from other parts of Africa, do stay with us. Welcome back. 14 civilians have been reported killed in a new attack attributed to ADF rebels in the volatile Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. According to local officials on Sunday, the president of the youth of Banyali Chabi chiefdom, Jacques Anaye Bandigama, disclosed that machete-wielding rebels burst into the village of Kiamata at around 7:30 p.m. In addition to the 14 people killed with machetes, 2 people were injured and 2 children are missing, certainly kidnapped by the attackers who also set fire in the village. The president of Nyali Chabi community, Faustin Mboma Babanilau, deplored the lack of military presence in the region where many armed groups are active. Away from that story, we move to another story, still on Africa, where Libyan authorities have discovered 42 unknown bodies in a mass grave in the northern coastal city of Sirte. The General Authority of Research and Identification of Missing on the mass grave found in Ibn Khaldun School in Jiza al-Baria area. The bodies were taken to a hospital to take samples from the bones and were buried later. According to Libyan official sources, Haftar's forces and affiliated militias committed war crimes and acts of genocide in the period between April 2019 and June 2020. The radical jihadists atrociously defended the city for months using urban guerrilla tactics before being defected by pro-government forces in late 2016. We'll now bring you news from other parts of the world after this time out. To stay with us. Welcome back. The death toll from Hurricane Ian climbed past 80 on Sunday as embattled residents in Florida and the Carolinas faced a recovery expected to cost tens of billions of dollars, and some officials faced criticisms over their response to the storm. Newsmen gathered that death toll was expected to keep rising as floodwaters receded and search teams pushed further into areas initially cut off from the outside world. At least 85 storm-related deaths have been confirmed since Ian crashed ashore Florida's Gulf Coast with catastrophic force on Wednesday as a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour. Florida accounted for all but 4 of the fatalities, with 42 tallied by the sheriff's office in coastal Lee County, which bore the brunt of the storm when it made landfall, and 39 other deaths reported by officials in 4 neighboring counties. Officials in Lee County, which includes Fort Myers and Cape Coral and is on Gulf Coast, have faced questions over whether they mandated evacuations in time. Cecil Pandegras, chairman of the county's Board of Commissioners on Sunday, commented on the situation.
around June 15th or June 1st, and I was down getting the house ready and everything, and here come the hurricane, and I had to evacuate and everything, and now I've lost everything. Everything, my life savings, everything, my tools, everything. I mean, you look around here, there's nothing. We have no power, no phone service, nothing. So we just like a little help. I'd like a little help to get my home back in shape because I have no work.
An official at the Women's Empowerment and Child Protection Ministry on Monday confirmed the death of at least 32 children in the Indonesia Stadium stampede that killed 125 people. The tragedy on Saturday night in the city of Malang saw a total of 125 people killed and 323 others injured after officers fired tear gas in the park stadium to quell a pitch invasion, triggering a stampede. As anger mounted against police, Indonesia's Chief Security Minister, Mahfud MD, announced that a task force had been formed for an investigation. According to Nahar, the latest data received show that out of 125 people who died in the accident, 32 of them were children, with the youngest being a toddler aged 3 or 4. In Poland, Foreign Minister Zbigniew Rau assigned a diplomatic note to Germany concerning repatriation of World War II. Rau disclosed this on Monday, formalizing Poland's demand for compensation ahead of visit by Berlin's top diplomat. The move comes after Poland's ruling nationalists last month estimated Germany owed the country 6.2 trillion zlotys, which is 1.26 trillion US dollars. Foreign Ministry spokesman Lukasz Jasina told reporters that Rau would raise the issue with his German counterpart Annalena Baerbock during her visit to Warsaw on Tuesday. Report has it that Poland's then communist rulers in 1953 relinquished all claims to war repatriations under pressure from the Soviet Union, which wanted to free East Germany, also a Soviet satellite, from any liabilities. Poland's ruling nationalists, Law and Justice, say that agreement is invalid because Poland was unable to negotiate fair compensation. Let's now take it to business news. After this break, do stay with us. Welcome back. This is Business News on World Now at 4. We take you to Egypt, where the World Bank has agreed to provide Egypt with $400 million to develop its logistics and transportation sectors and support the shift towards lower carbon emission. This group said it in a statement on Monday, adding that the project will focus on developing a railway bypass in Egypt's congested Alexandria, the 6th of October Great Area Railway Corridor, allowing for increased freight capacity and decongesting areas with high demand for passenger trains. World Bank also said that it supports the Egyptian government's effort to promote private sector participation in improving its railways by creating a system similar to road tolls, permitting privately owned trains to operate on national tracks for a fee. Egypt's Ministry of International Cooperation noted that the ongoing development finance portfolio between the World Bank and the #1 financial institute includes 15 projects worth $5.7 billion and includes initiatives in healthcare, social security, entrepreneurship, in addition to transportation. In Britain, the British Prime Minister Liz Truss has forced on Monday into a humiliating U-turn, reversing plans to cut the highest rate of income tax that helps to spark a rebellion in her party and turmoil in financial markets. Truss and her finance minister, Kwasi Kwarteng, announced a new growth plan on September 23 that would cut taxes and regulation funded by vast government borrowing to snap the economy out of years of stagnant growth. but the plan triggered a crisis of investor confidence in the government, hammering the value of the pound and government bond prices and jolting global markets to such an extent that Bank of England had to intervene with £65 billion program to shore up the market. Just hours after Truss announced to defend the policy, Kwarteng released a statement saying he accepted it had become a distraction from wider efforts to help households through a difficult winter. The decision to reverse course is likely to put Truss and Kwarteng under huge pressure less than 4 weeks after they came to power. Britain has had 4 prime ministers in the last 6 political turbulent years. This is World Now at 4 on Hills TV. Let's now join Richard Badung on Sports News. Stay with us.
Very good evening to you and welcome to Sport News on World Now at 4. I am Richard Badung. On the news, Minister of Youth and Sports and Development, Sunday Dare has expressed optimism about sporting activities in the country following the successes recorded by Nigerian athletes in various outings. He spoke to journalists over the weekend while disclosing that the ministry, through the forthcoming Nigerian Olympics Games tagged Delta 2022, is ready to harness more potential in preparation for the next international outing come Paris 2024.
The result we witnessed at Oregon and also at the Commonwealth in Birmingham is a culmination of deliberate efforts in the last 3 years on the part of the ministry, on the part of the athletes, on the part of the AFN. So many factors came together and we've learned a few lessons. We've designed new models from supporting our athletes through welfare, making sure that they attend all qualifications. We'll take that experience from there as we prepare for France 2024, which is our next biggest competition. But of course, the Nigerian Olympics will take place in November, Delta 2022, and we hope that at that date we will build our team that will go to France 2024.
Away from that story, ahead of the international friendly with the former world champions, Nigeria's Super Falcons have arrived in Japan for the game. The team landed in Kobe venue of the game on this afternoon, and they are expected to commence preparations for the game immediately. They departed the country on Saturday morning for the Asian country in the company of the invited home-based players and technical crew. Meanwhile, 2 new players, Peace Effie and Ucheibe Christie, have joined the team in Japan. The game against Japan will be Super Falcons' 3rd consecutive friendly after the 2022 Women's African Cup of Nations. Now to the English Premier League, where Manchester City trashed the Red Devils, Manchester United, in a whopping 6-3 victory in favour of the citizens on Sunday. Erling Braut Haaland, in his first Manchester debut on Sunday, scored a hat-trick in the 35th, 37th and 64th minutes, respectively. The Norwegian also gave 2 assists to give City the win and shared his excitement with reporters after the game.
Yeah, not bad. We scored 6 goals. Yeah, what can you say? It's amazing to win home, score 6 goals here, and.
Meanwhile, English sensation Phil Foden, who also scored his first Manchester City debut hat-trick, continues on his fine form and spoke to newsmen after the game.
Obviously, it's a dream come true, playing in the derby, being a City fan as well. Yeah, me and Erling's built that connection now, and we're finding each other. And yeah, it's just been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to be a part of the team.
Manchester City had gone into half-time with 4 goals, while United were unable to concede in the first 45 minutes of the game. However, United's Anthony scored the first goal for the Red Devils in the 56th minute, coming into the second half, and Anthony Martial doubled the scoreline for United and added another in the 84th minute to make it, a penalty in the 91st minute to make it a brace for himself and the third for United. Manchester City's victory puts them 1 point ahead or behind Arsenal in second place on the league table with 20 points from 8 Premier League matches played so far. United fans' reaction could be seen leaving the Etihad Stadium at halftime, and the coach Erik ten Hag said his players lacked confidence in the game. Well, I'll move away from that story and let you know that's your sport news on World Now at 4. Back to Peace Ogenegbawe for the rest of the news. I am Richard Badung.
Welcome back. Saudi Arabia has announced plans to ramp up public spending next year and said it still expects to post a budget surplus. The Finance Ministry said in a preliminary budget statement over the weekend that it expects a surplus of 9 billion riyals, or 0.2% of gross domestic product, smaller than an earlier estimate of 27 billion riyals. Spending is projected at 1.11 trillion riyals, with revenue of 1.12 trillion riyals. Saudi Arabia is on track to balance the books a year ahead of schedule and wants to keep its budget in the black in the coming years after collecting a windfall from oil sales. According to reports, the world's top oil exporter has emerged from the pandemic with a fast improving balance sheet thanks to a rebound in crude, but now it has to balance the uncertainty in the oil markets with the needs of an economy that still relies heavily on the flow of petrodollars into the government's coffers. And that's World Now at 4. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to youth. 14 civilians have been killed in DRC attack. And Poland's FM has signed a diplomatic note to Germany. On sports, Super Falcons have arrived in Japan with 2 players joining the team. Remember to visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hills TV. I am Peace Ogenegbawe. Thank you for watching.